Hello, everybody. This is Kimchi Crypto. Today, I'm going to talk about big thing is coming this week. Let's dig in. Crypto investment products attract another $2.7 billion as inflow streak extends to 11 weeks. True, but the thing is, why has alt season not happened yet? Everybody is begging for alt season now. As you can find out, the Coinbase app Rankbot in the whole world, the app is around 381st, which means no retail is ever interested in crypto right now, especially altcoins. Bitcoin, well, the Rect Capital says if Bitcoin is going to peak in its bull market in September October this year, as per historical halving cycles, that's only 2-3 months away. But I personally think that this 4-year cycle might be broken already because of those Wall Street giants, including BlackRock, JP Morgan, Fidelity, etc. Anyway, breaking news: National Bank of Kazakhstan governor says they are working to establish a Bitcoin crypto reserve. It's not that surprising, to be honest, if you ask me. And Bhutan, the country of those, in the middle Asian countries, they're all joining forces to the crypto, especially Bitcoin reserve currencies. I mean, countries, one by one. Everyone is talking about Bitcoin, but not about altcoins yet. This is the alt season index one of, and percentage of assets excluding stablecoins outperforming Bitcoin over a rolling 90-day period. This is very simple. Altcoins compared to Bitcoin price. I circled these areas in red. In the early 2019, in the late of 2020 or early 2021, in the middle of 2022 when Terra Luna collapsed, in the middle of 2023, and both we were in the bear markets, and right now. What does this represent? You should have bought quality altcoins, as many as possible in this red circled period. And I circled these areas in green. In April 2024, in the middle of 2022, and in the early of 2024, and late last year. This means we should have bought Bitcoin as many as possible because Bitcoin dominance has increased ever since those, the greenish areas. Michael van der Pop, he's one of those, crypto traders. He bet alt season too earlier, so I think he got the criticism and all those complaints from those altcoiners. Anyway, amazing representation of the altcoin market. Right now, the altcoins are the heaviest underperforming versus Bitcoin for the past 2 years. The last bottom formation, June 2022, the low of the previous bear market on Ethereum, June 2023, the low for most altcoins. And now, well, June 2025 could be low, if not the bottom. Anyway, maybe a few months later, you can see clearly whether this was the bottom or low. But right now, we can assume that it's a great time to buy those quality altcoins anyway. Marty Party, one of those influencers in Twitter, people begging for alt season. Take note. Every June is the bottom for alts. Here is Total 3. Every June was the low. Total 3 chart for sure. Crypto market cap minus Bitcoin minus Ethereum. It's like altcoin chart. I circled these areas every June each year in the last 5 consecutive years. Every June was the low. I would say it was not the bottom itself, but it was very low period, especially for altcoins. In the last 5 consecutive years, it was pretty true. One of those, replies, interesting how altcoins have been lagging behind Bitcoin for the last 2 years. Looks like June 2022, June 2023 marked the lows for many. Timing is key in these markets. I repeat, timing is very, very important. I personally think timing is everything. Timing outpaces everything. Which coin to buy rather than even liquidity? Yes, we should analyze and study global liquidity because it's the fundamental element when it comes to deciding and making decisions in trading or investment. In order to time the market in the mid to long term, liquidity could be the fundamental factor here. In order to time the market, timing is everything, should be your everything. Altcoin Daily, one of those top influencers in the United States, I think he mentioned he survived multiple bear markets and bull markets, but this market is the weirdest one yet. For sure, because alt season should have arrived, but it didn't. Maybe 4 year cycle's over now. Maybe because of those big players like Wall Street giants came in and tweaked 4 year long cycle. That's what I think. Who knows? Carl Moon, he also mentioned Bitcoin will pump, altcoins will go parabolic as before. The gains will be legendary. What do you think? What could be the trigger of this alt season? This is $1 million question here. Well, first things first. BlackRock will file for both Solana and XRP ETF. Since March of this year, Nate Jarash, a president of the ETF store, he's also very famous. I think he is more, the objective rather than those Bloomberg guys, in my personal opinion. Since March of this year, Mr. Jarash argues this will happen. What? BlackRock will finally file for both Solana and XRP Spot ETFs. So do I. I think so as well. Both BlackRock and SEC, in order for them to apply for those, approve the altcoin ETFs, they need reasoning. Reasoning, justification for XRP Solana ETFs, especially for XRP. And the recent news, as you must have heard, Ripple dropped cross appeal against US SEC in crypto lawsuit. CEO Ripple, Brett Garlinghouse said. SEC is in the process of dropping cross appeal as well. When this happens, lawsuit will be completely over. It will take several weeks for SEC to drop its appeal because it needs some several weeks. That's somewhat hierarchical government organization to make an important decision like this. It will take several weeks though. Anyway, after 4.5 year long lawsuit is over when this happens, and then I suppose BlackRock's got the reason for XRP ETF. And ETF expert Nate Jarash sees SEC greenlighting Grayscale's GDLC, Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund ETF this week. Deadline for Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund conversion from trust into ETF is coming Wednesday, July 2nd. Well, he mentioned we are approaching its final deadline this week to decide on the Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund. The fund includes major cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano, ADA. What a coincidence, because Trump also mentioned 5 cryptocurrencies in order for United States to stockpile digital assets. What a coincidence. Gerasi sees a strong chance of the ETF gaining approval, potentially opening the path for individual altcoin spot ETFs down the line. I cannot agree with this guy more. Not only Gerasi, but Bloomberg guys also raised the odds of GDLC, Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund ETF conversion to 95%. I think that's 100% to be honest. The $1 million question should be this: if Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund is converted into ETF, if it's approved, why not individual altcoin spot ETFs then? That is the fundamental question, very important question to be asked. I cannot time the event exactly for sure, right? But my instinct tells me Mr. Larry Fink will apply for XRP and Solana ETF as well. You cannot underestimate the greed of Wall Street giants, especially BlackRock. He is like the god of gods in this crypto sector, That could be the catalyst for alt season 2.0. Nobody can time the market. And then what should be our plan or strategy? We buy Bitcoin and quality altcoins earlier than before those things happen, and wait for them to pump the market. I think that is how we should do throughout the whole season. Maybe in several weeks or months, I don't know. But tokenization, DeFi, for AI, for stablecoins, CBDCs, for MAGA, Make America Great Again, whatsoever reasons, they need altcoins. It's not possible with Bitcoin, never. It's not possible. And that said, be patient. Just like Rome was not built in a day, your wealth cannot be built in a day. Thank you for listening.